It was a cold December night in a small town called Maplewood, where Christmas lights twinkled on the houses and the streets were covered with a thin layer of snow. The Christmas spirit was in the air, but for a group of young people, this year's Christmas would be different. They decided to spend the holidays away from their families, seeking a new experience that promised freedom and adventure. Among them were Jake, a dreamy young man with a generous heart; Emily, a talented artist who always sought inspiration in the simple things in life; and Ryan, the leader of the group, who had an adventurous spirit and a charismatic personality. They were excited about the idea of spending Christmas in a secluded cabin in the mountains, away from family obligations and the traditions they found boring. Jake's, Emily's, and Ryan's parents were worried about their children's decision. They knew that youth often seeks freedom, but they also understood that the world can be a dangerous place. They are young and need to learn, thought Jake's mother as she looked out the window, watching the lights flickering in the neighborhood. But I just hope they stay safe. So, on Christmas Eve, the three friends set off for the cabin, full of expectations and dreams. The cabin was cozy, with a crackling fireplace and a stunning view of the snow-covered mountains. They spent the night decorating the Christmas tree, making hot chocolate, and telling stories. However, as the night progressed, a strange feeling began to linger in the air. While the young people were having fun, a dark figure watched them from a distance. It was a group of envious people who had also decided to spend Christmas in the mountains, but did not share the same joyful spirit. They were known in town for their dubious intentions and for attracting trouble. When they learned that Jake, Emily, and Ryan were in the cabin, they decided they would have fun at their expense. That night, while the young people were distracted, the envious ones began making noise outside, banging on the windows and laughing maliciously. The festive atmosphere quickly turned into tension. Jake, who had always been the bravest of the group, decided to confront the intruders. "Hey, what are you doing here?" he shouted, opening the cabin door. The envious ones, led by a guy named Derek, laughed and mocked. "We're just having fun, Jake. Do you really think you can have a happy Christmas here, away from home? That's pathetic." Derek's taunt made the other young people feel insecure and vulnerable. Emily, who had always been sensitive to the energies around her, felt a chill run down her spine. "Let's ignore them and go back inside," she suggested, but the tension had already settled in. Ryan, trying to keep calm, said, "Let's just have fun and not let them ruin our night." However, the presence of the envious ones began to affect the group. They felt increasingly insecure, and as the night wore on, they began to argue. The Christmas spirit that had once united them now seemed distant. The joy they had dissipated, and the atmosphere became heavy. On Christmas morning, the young people woke up hoping that the previous night had been just a nightmare. But when they looked out the window, they saw that the envious ones had left marks of vandalism on the cabin. The Christmas lights were broken, and the decorations they had made were scattered on the floor. Disappointment and sadness took over them. "We should have listened to our parents," Jake said, his voice choked. "They always warned us about people like that." Emily agreed, feeling guilty for not insisting that they go back home. Ryan, who had always been the most optimistic, now felt defeated. "What are we going to do now? Christmas is ruined." It was then that a figure appeared at the cabin door. It was an elderly woman, known in town as Mrs. Thompson. She was a woman of God, always ready to help others and offer wise counsel. "Good morning, young people," she said with a warm smile. "I heard what happened and came to see if you are okay." The young people told her about the previous night and how they felt. Mrs. Thompson listened attentively and then said, Sometimes, people attract envy and negativity when they are trying to do something good. But what matters is how you react to it. Regret is an important part of growth. The most important thing is that you learned something from this experience. Learning from mistakes is essential, continued Mrs. Thompson. You have the opportunity to turn this situation into something positive. Christmas is about love, forgiveness, and renewal. Don't let the negativity of others extinguish the light that shines within you. Mrs. Thompson's words touched the hearts of the young people. They realized that despite the difficulties, they could still choose how to react. We accept the call to make this Christmas something special, even if it wasn't as we planned, Jake said, with a new sparkle in his eyes. Emily, inspired by the conversation, suggested that they use what was left of the decorations to create something new. Let's make a new Christmas tree, one that represents our resilience and our friendship, she said. Ryan agreed, and together they began working on the new decorations, transforming the cabin into a cozy space filled with love. As they worked, Mrs. Thompson helped them prepare a snack and shared stories about the true meaning of Christmas. She spoke about the importance of being surrounded by people we love and how kindness and compassion can overcome negativity. That night, the young people gathered around the new Christmas tree, now decorated with love and creativity. They sang Christmas songs and shared laughter, feeling more united than ever. Mrs. Thompson's presence brought a new meaning to Christmas, and they realized that even away from their families, they could still create special memories. As the night came to an end, Jake, Emily, and Ryan felt grateful for the experience. They learned that the true spirit of Christmas is not in the circumstances, but in how we choose to react to them. "I accept the call," exclaimed Jake, raising a cup of hot chocolate. "Let's make this Christmas a moment of learning and love." Mrs. Thompson smiled, pleased to see the transformation of the young people. Remember, what matters is the love you share and the lessons you learn. Christmas is an opportunity for renewal and hope. And so, in that cabin in the mountains, the young people discovered that even in the face of adversity, they could find joy and meaning. They returned home with hearts full of gratitude and a new understanding of what it truly means to be chosen. Christmas was not just a date. It was a celebration of life, friendship, and the ability to overcome challenges together. Today we will explore a very important and relevant theme for all of us: why the chosen attract negative people and entities. This is a question that many face in their lives, and the story we just heard gives us a solid foundation to understand it. Let's reflect on this in a simple and clear way. First, we need to understand that those who are considered chosen often have an inner light that shines brightly. This light represents goodness, hope, and faith. Just as a light attracts insects at night, negative people and entities are also drawn to this light. They can sense the positive energy that emanates from people who seek to do good, and this can generate envy or even hostility. In the story we heard, Jake, Emily, and Ryan were filled with hope and joy as they decided to spend Christmas together. However, this light they radiated attracted the attention of an envious group. This shows us that when we seek something positive, we may end up attracting those who do not share that same spirit. Envy is one of the main reasons why negative people approach the chosen. When someone sees another person thriving, happy, or at peace, they may feel a desire to bring them down. This is exactly what happened in the story. The young people were having fun and celebrating, while the envious group wanted to spoil that joy. A biblical example that illustrates this is the story of Joseph in Egypt. Joseph was loved by his father and had grand dreams, His brothers, consumed by envy, sold him into slavery. They could not handle the light that Joseph radiated, and instead of rejoicing for him, decided to act negatively. This story teaches us that envy can lead people to commit terrible acts, and those who are chosen often become targets of that envy. When we face negativity, it is essential to develop resilience. In the story, after Mrs. Thompson's visit, the young people learned to transform a negative situation into something positive. They decided not to let the envy of others extinguish their light. Instead, they came together and created a new Christmas tree, symbolizing their friendship and resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from difficulties and keep moving forward. In life, we all face challenges, but how we react to them is what truly matters. When we are chosen, we have the responsibility to keep our light shining, even in the face of darkness. In addition to people, we can also attract negative entities. These entities can be energies or influences that seek to divert us from our path. They can manifest as negative thoughts, doubts, or even people who discourage us. In the story, the presence of the envious ones brought a heavy atmosphere, affecting the spirits of the young people. It is important to remember that just as we can attract negative energies, we can also repel those influences. Prayer, meditation, and practicing acts of kindness are ways to strengthen our light and protect ourselves from negative entities. When we are connected with the divine and our true essence, we can create a protective shield around us. Another important aspect is the power of community. In the story, Mrs. Thompson's presence was crucial in helping the young people overcome negativity. She brought words of wisdom and encouragement, showing that even in difficult times, we can find support in others. The Bible teaches us about the importance of community in several passages. In Hebrews 10:24-25, we read, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." This reminds us that when we are together, we can strengthen and protect each other from negative influences. One of the most important points that the story teaches us is that we have the power to choose how to react to situations. Jake, Emily, and Ryan, after their conversation with Mrs. Thompson, decided to transform their negative experience into something positive. They chose not to be defeated by envy and negativity, but to celebrate friendship and love. In life, we face many challenging situations, but how we choose to react can change everything. We can choose to be carried away by negativity, or we can decide to shine even more brightly. This choice is ours, and it reflects our character and our faith. Finally, it is important to remember that the light that shines in us can illuminate even the darkest places. When we face negativity, we have the opportunity to show the world what it means to be truly chosen. The story of Jake, Emily, and Ryan teaches us that even in the face of adversity, we can find joy and meaning. Just as Jesus said in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house." This passage reminds us that our light should shine so that others can see and be inspired. In summary, the chosen attract negative people and entities because their light shines brightly. Envy, lack of understanding, and negativity can manifest in various ways, but we have the power to choose how to react. Resilience, community, and faith are powerful tools that help us keep our light shining. Always remember that even in difficult times, you can transform negativity into something positive. Like Jake, Emily, and Ryan, you can find joy and meaning, even away from home. Christmas, like life, is an opportunity for renewal and hope. May you always choose to shine, regardless of the circumstances around you. May God bless you. If you have made it this far, I would like to invite you to reflect on some significant questions. How do you perceive the light that shines within you? Have you ever felt drawn to negative people or situations? What methods do you use to maintain your resilience in the face of difficulties? Furthermore, I want to encourage you to deepen your connection with the divine through the devotional, The Chosen. This is a 40-day purpose that can help you find clarity, strength, and inspiration on your spiritual journey. Each day, you will have the chance to connect with your purpose, explore your faith, and hear the voice of your soul more clearly. I am George, your friend and spiritual guide, and I am here to support you on your journey of awakening and self-discovery. If this message has touched your heart, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your presence in this community is valuable, and together, we can create a space of love, unity, and enlightenment. Remember, you are loved. You are needed. Your light makes all the difference. May the next 40 days bring renewal, hope, and the certainty that you are exactly where you should be. With love and gratitude, George.